This is Short Hammer. It is the 18th of July, 2021, and this is Trading Zones. My apologies, I've been gone a few weeks. Just had a baby born, and there were a few challenges. Everything is great now, but you know how that is. You gotta, focus on the family and take care of that business. But in my absence, the market has been nuts, loving all the news and the headline risk and risk on and risk off and all. Everybody, has their predictions and interest rates and all this stuff, right? Um, it's been great. What we've gotten that you always want in the market is you want movement and you want range. And based on that range, that sets us up for some great retracement plays, things that we should keep an eye on. So looking at the M&Qs, right? Taking a peek at this bad boy. What we want to look at first is we do have a trend line. And, I just drew this line in here and we've been following this trend for quite a few months. Every time we pull back to it, it seems as if the buyers step in, right? So let's see here, and here meaning on the 16th or Friday, it looks as if that trend may have broken. Might this be something? Might this be nothing? We'll have to see and watch and see how this reacts. But if we go all the way back to May, we have been on this uptrend, and the first break of that uptrend, in my opinion, right? Because it's based on how you draw your lines, was on Friday. So if we're looking at our levels, the levels to the upside, let me slide this over here, um, would be 14,883, then 14,993 should be the top, right? So if we're pulling back here, we'd keep an eye on the 14,602 area to see if buyers step in, if we get a little bit of reversal action here. If we get back over the 14,724, we are below the trend line. Have to see if we get an increase in volume. If we get a gap up, this is going to be interesting for me Sunday at 6 to see what the market's telling us, right? And then if we get through 14,602, then what about 14,471, right? That's the next level to watch. Then 14,384, 14,313, 14,231. Then we're back down here into the 14,192 by 14,154 zone. I didn't get an opportunity to draw the zones on these higher levels. I just got an opportunity to draw the supply demand lines that I'll be watching. Please keep an eye on this. We do have something in the works that has been a little bit delayed, but we will be getting that out to you. But any questions, any comments, please make them. I'm here for all of it. Um, for me, a lot of these videos are primarily, watch lists, and it's going to be what I'm going to be trading, and it's sort of what I'll be focused on, and the levels that I'll be watching in the upcoming week. So for me, it's just it's money, right? And if it can help, if any of these levels, right, and any of these perspectives can assist just one or two people in being able to see the charts a little bit better or see levels a little bit better, and they get an entry, and that helps them, pay a bill, feed their family, or get a little bit more confidence in the market, it's worth it. Here for all of that. MES. So you see these upper wicks here, and so once we pull back, you see the candle structure here, right? So once we pull back, so this is the first pullback down into here, and we can see the candle structure. Candle structure. Didn't know, you don't know if it's going to hold or not. Pushed up, made this high, pulled back, held around this level, pulled back up again. On this push up, we needed to break this top, and because we couldn't blow this top off, then this was, a clear not 100% clear, but the probability of there being a lower low on this is pretty high. Unless we ricocheted again and went back up, then we'd have to break the top. But because we broke the bottom, now this is showing us that the sellers are a little bit more in control here than the buyers are, because we're not seeing higher highs compared to the previous wave. That's my opinion. So 4353 is a level, 4333, 4315. Took a little bounce there. That's cool. 4291, 4280, and 4249. We'll be watching these this upcoming week. Looking for good entries and exits. Like for me, I'm not going to be trading the MES. I'm going to be trading the Qs, the M&N Qs. Um, that's what I'll be trading. But these are some of the levels for the MES. If I'm in the MES, I'm probably trading SPX, and I'm probably selling some little bit of premium in that bad boy. But I would do it off of these levels. Just me. The Russ, how the mighty have fallen, right? And if you look at the Russ, we're down here around the 21.53. You definitely want to see if we can catch a bid here. If not, we'll be down around 21.11. To the upside, 21.72, 21.99, 22.11. Take a look at the small caps and take a peek at the financials, right? Financials, some of them, it's a mixed bag, but the majority of that bag came up starburst, right? Meaning, good Halloween candy. Not important right now, but um, you would expect that based on financials that things would be looking a little bit more peachy. But sometimes earnings are baked in, and even though for some of these banks the earnings were great, you have to kind of look at the run that we've been on as far as the financials, not over the last week or 2 weeks, but over the last few months. And we've made this point a few times that the financials are the reasons why the market's been up so much. And it's like financials, just passed the baton to tech, and there was a slight rotation there as far as cash flow. But what you want to watch is also whenever the market is a little bit shaky, right? So you remember tech not too long ago was a little bit turbulent, a little bit shaky, and was kind of selling. Um, People tend to shelter not just in like consumer staples or the bonds or different things people may buy or sell to protect themselves or hedge themselves in the market is nuts. But a lot of times the small cap Momo plays get a lot more attention as people are looking for a place to put their money to be able to get a good return. So as money rotated back into tech, a lot of those blue chippers, money, in my opinion, kind of moved away from some of those small caps, some of the stocks that make up the RTY, and people were looking for the next cycle, the next thing. What's the next area that there'll be energy and money focused on, where I could jump in, get a few dollars and jump out? That happened to be tech. So just keep an eye on these levels. See if we see a buy here, if we see a reversal here. Um, I'm not surprised either way that goes, but just keep an eye on that, in my opinion. Let's move to Amazon. So Amazon, Star Trekking it through the charts, making some new levels. And so what we want to watch for here on Amazon as we pull back is the 35.52 and see if buyers step in there. If no buyers step in there, I believe there's a strong level at 35.13 down through 34.58. So we'll see if the buyers at least step in at 35.13. If they don't step in at 35.52. If we don't crack 35.52, meaning go under, and we buy back up, look for the bid to get above 36.03. And if we do and we see a little bit of extension, what we'd like to see is an extension and a buy up and momentum in at 36.62 and maybe higher. We have to see how that works. But if you watch this little hitch here, right around 36.49, right into the 36.20s, there may be a little pocket of volume there that may create a little bit of supply as we push up there. So we want to see what happens. Either the buyers will be in control or the sellers will be in control. But the way that you'll be able to tell that will be based on price and also based on volume. So definitely watching Amazon. A lot of good news out there about Amazon. But we have to see how that all plays out and how that all plays out based on these levels. Keep it going. Netflix making a play on video games got everyone excited, but we have to see how they execute, right? Execution is everything. We were talking about a break above this little zone here, 514.75 by 502.41. A break above that, you want to see an extension into the next level. And we did see an extension in the 529s. We received a slight pullback, within the buy-up took us even higher. But big picture, looking at Netflix, what you really need to see is a break into the 600s, in my opinion. Until we break into the 600s, glass ceilings. Like there's no I don't think we're really going anywhere, and we'll see if buyers step back in and push us up here. But I think pivoting to gaming or whatever, Netflix just has quite a few challenges, especially with the performance, or should I say, the overperformance of Disney right now and Disney Plus. Um, Netflix does provide a unique view of certain properties, but at the same time, so does Disney. And being able to drop blockbuster movies and to own the Marvel franchise and all those different things that Disney provides, rolled in there with ESPN and I believe Hulu. Um, Netflix is under pressure. So even with the gaming thing that they're trying, we'll see how that works and what the investors and the buyers feel about that. But watch these levels as we pull back. The next level I would watch is here's not bad. The 529 area is interesting a little bit, but I keep an eye on also the 525, see if buyers step in. If we continue to dip, watch the 514 area. If we buy back up and get back above the 535s, then we can see an extension in the 542, maybe even 550s. But what we really want to see is a break of the 600s and to get out of this sort of um, doldrum, right? This area where we know that we don't have enough momentum necessarily to in one swoop eat all this back up and break into the 600s. So we'll see how Netflix works out, but I just think they're under pressure, and we'll see what those numbers are. Okay, let's move to NVIDIA. NVIDIA interesting, loving this pullback. So 721.85, potential area where buyers may step in. They did in the past, and also previous supply area. Then 706.09. Then you have this area here, this 695 by 690 area. Could be a small pocket where we can see some buying. And if we cut through that, then we're watching 648s. I don't think that's going to happen. Even though I believe they mentioned a Taiwan chip company is trying to bridge the gap for chips as far as automobiles. Um, there's still going to be substantial, I'll say, requirements and desire to do business with a company like NVIDIA, regardless of all that. So we'll see how they do with the changing landscape of the chip market and the market potentially moving from a supply issue um, into an issue where supply is no longer an issue and the demand may not be as strong. So we'll see. But definitely watch the levels I just mentioned, and we'll see how the market responds, or if we just continue to dip and get a sell down into the 600s, like the 648 is what I mean, down there. So we'll see how that works out. Let's see. Next up, um, Microsoft. Microsoft love this uptrend. We've been mentioning, I think, since last earnings, just how great Microsoft was doing just multiple divisions and how well they were executing, and that people really did have high expectations of Microsoft. Now we'll see what the earnings reveal. But nice push here. We're pulling back to the trend line. We'll see if we break. Watch for the break of 283.62 by 284.24. A break of that will be nice for potentially more upside. Then you pull back, watch to see if buyers step in around 278.80s, 276.12s, and 271.75. Whenever something gets beyond right a previous high, and so it's basically no longer within the retracement um area that I like to trade. I sort of had to switch to a different strategy, which is the utilization of pivots and candle structure, which will be brand new candle structure or fresh candle structure and fresh zones and fresh levels, to be able to trade it. Because in those cases, my retracement trading doesn't work the same, and the things that I've measured volume and price off of doesn't work the same as we're overextending. Well, actually, it does work the same. It's just I don't have it within the same context, so I have to utilize leases pivots for those higher levels. But watch, we'll see what happens if we see those pullbacks. But watch these levels, and we'll see how it reacts. And also, the question you have to ask yourself as earnings do approach: how much is baked in, right? How much of this is people front running good earnings numbers, and how many of those people will be selling, selling their position as earnings come about, right? Because they sort of gotten all the juice they can out of the orange. We'll see. So it's one of two things. Either the answer is they've sort of front run this a little bit. A lot of these stocks, they've gotten all the juice out of it. And so there'll be a pullback, even though earnings are great, there'll be a pullback and a buy up at some point, but they'll cash in. Or there's way more opportunity and value to the upside on Microsoft, and the investors that are already in are going to double down and buy even more because they expect the stock to continue to go. So we'll see. Competing narratives. Let me keep it moving. Apple, see this uptrend, pull back to that should be interesting. We'll see if we get that. Right now, we're above the 144.91. We did mention the break of the 127s, could lead to an extension of 131s, but we went BANANAS. If we see a buy at the 144.91s, look for a bounce into the 147.50s. If we drop to 142.44 area, we'll almost be on the trend line, and we'll definitely be looking for a buy and a push back up with a little bit of strength. We'll see how that works out on Apple. Watch the 147.50, 149.97. Remember, we mentioned on Apple that it's one of those interesting companies because of things opening back up, because of the Genius Bar opening back up. That does open up for Apple a revenue stream that has been really strong for them, and a place from which they can sell more accessories and also upsell other services, right? So that things are beginning to open back up in multiple states, I think, is great news for a company like Apple, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Let's see here. And do this multitasking. Pardon me. Um, let's keep it moving. But with earnings coming, they did mention. I can't remember where I saw it, that Apple was asking its manufacturers to provide more products. Like, hey, we need you to make more material for us. We believe we're going to, whenever a company asks for more material, especially a company like Apple that's well seasoned, they're probably planning to see a jump in sales. Just my opinion, but we'll see. Because just because you beat earnings does not mean that price will advance, that price will go up. It does not mean that. There are other variables greater than just beating on your earnings. There are other things that are important to the entire package. So keep it moving to Facebook. So Facebook made some nice moves above this level, looking for longs. We're pulling back to 340.28. We'll see if the buyers step in. If the buyers step in on a stock like Facebook, you kind of want to watch it, have your higher time frame levels, but see what it does intraday, right? And it usually will give you a play off the EMAs of some sort, whether it's a pullback or something. It's gives you definitely like a courtesy alert almost. But off that pullback, you usually find a good continuation trade. Unless that breaks, then you'll get a little bit lower. You can play the next level. So keep an eye on the 340.28, then 337.62, then back to our levels here around 332.99. To the upside, if we buy back up, watch 344. Keep an eye on 347 ish, then 349. Definitely will be interesting. There's a lot going on around Facebook. Just a tech as a whole, I think that this run may have been many investors trying to sort of buy the market and also um, squeeze as much out of that tech orange as possible. As all these new regulations may come down, there, quite a few people that are in the current administration that are not favorable to big business and also not favorable to big tech. So we'll see how things may work as far as their taxes and classifications and how investments are rewarded, like how when they invest in something to create something, how that's rewarded. So this is all going to be pretty interesting. I do not have a thesis on it right now. I just really haven't had the time to drill into it to come up with a thesis. But I'll be careful on tech and make sure to try to find something that's relatively safe, meaning that you can figure out the movements relatively. You don't have to be absolute genius to figure out what's going on. But that's my view on Facebook and tech. Just be careful, and we'll see if the buyer step into any of these levels. And if we pop back above, you want to keep an eye on the next level for potential push to that. Amidst all this movement and action, Intel is down. So I'm staying away from Intel. Don't like the energy there. We'll see what we get. See how earnings uh, pair. But leaving Intel alone. But if you're not leaving Intel alone, keep an eye on the 53.58 to the upside, 55.71, 56.91, 58.85, it's 60.94. Have to get through this zone. Then we can see some squeeze. I am not touching this at all. CMG, love the burrito. Look at this move. Okay, so remember we're mentioning down here, want to hold above, or if we pull below, get back above quickly. Buyer stepped in. Right now we're just below the 1569s. Below that is 1548. Want to wait to see if buyers step in there. The 1523, 1510s, 1468s. No expectation it's going to go this low, not prior to earnings. And so if we buy up, you want to see what we can do around the 1569 if we get above that and get a little bit of strength into the 1592, 1605, 1622, and sort of um, push hard. We want to see what happens, right? With colleges, universities, all these things opening back up, I do expect that CMG's numbers will continue to skyrocket, continue to go up. I think it's a very interesting company. Their product, I believe, most may not agree, but I think it's really a unique proposition on freshness, right? On fast food freshness. It's very unique, I think. Um, Watch these levels I just mentioned. Watch your six. Remember, for earnings, CMG will, give you 50, 75 points of movement in one direction with no problem. So definitely keeping an eye on that. Uh, Next up is McDonald's. McDonald's is just pump faking and playing games with us. It's a play action. It, it's a screen. They threw it in the flat. The running back picked up the first down. So this is one of those plays where just selling some premium a little bit outside of this area is not necessarily a bad idea. One of these days it's going to break one way or the other, and we might see some extension. It has not done it yet. We see these push-ups. Look at these tops, roughly equal. It's not really going anywhere. So for me, I'm waiting for that. I'll be selling premium um, outside of this level. That's what I think I'll be looking to do. Sell a little bit of premium for the week and see how that works out. But McDonald's is interesting. And if we get a big buy in either direction that breaks through the 237 here, or breaks through this area down here, right around this 229s, I will be definitely following that. Okay. Let me bring this to a close. Um, Operating on not much sleep. You know how that goes. So we're below the 651 area. That's the area I'd hope to hold. I'll be keeping an eye out for the 616, see if we go lower. Elon being in court, not good for Tesla. A lot of other companies getting in space, not good for SpaceX. So just all interesting, right? And sometimes the details don't matter as much as the big headlines and the headline risk that people sort of kind of chill on. As far as the market, chill on pushing something, right? Just because as more data is provided, people are seeing that there are options when it comes to electric vehicles. So it's really interesting. Um, but watching Tesla, watch for 616. If we get back above 651, see if we can get a buy up through the 665, 670 area. Then we had to get back up to 713s. Um, if you just sometimes you just had to zoom out and look at the chart, right? And if you look at Tesla, it's kind of middling in a way, right? We've had some massive extensions and some massive drops. It almost seems as if it's middling a little bit, just the last few days. We'll see how how the investors and buyers of Tesla react to looking at these technicals. We'll see how they react. Preferably they buy it and squeeze it all the way through the 800s. But either way, it's gonna be great. Whole 616s. It's going to be great. But those are the levels that I have on Tesla, and those are the things that I'm watching for. Just movement above or below um, any one of these supply demand lines, and then weakness and a fade from that. Just keep it moving. JPM banks, even the ones that beat, just just moving back a little bit. So we're below the 154.70s. Watch out for the 149.30. See if we see a reaction there, or if we see a reaction at the 147.12s, might be interesting. Just keeping an eye on JPM. If we buy back above 154.70, I'd watch for a squeeze up around 156.78. So we'll see. Goldman Sachs. Oops, I put S in there. Oops, my fault. I'm like, what happened, Goldman? So as we see this pullback did break the uptrend that we had twice, right? Breaking it again. So this is invalidated. So let me remove this. It's not important anymore. Not for me. So we want to see if we hold above the 356 and if we buy back up. The next potential hitch is at 362.28. If you look at the last drop, we sort of cut through that area like butter and then came back to that area. Then we had a leg up. So on this drop, what you want to see is, do we see any action around 362.20s, any type of reversals or buying that may give us $1 or $2 bounce here? If not, then look for that. I would be looking for that right around the 356s and see if the buyers step in and push this back up. A lot of these financial companies or banks did really well on earnings, but it's kind of hard to bake to sort of bake in. Just a lot of the challenges, Delta variant, all the different challenges that we have going on right now. It's hard to account for all those things. There's definitely I'll say a level of the unknown, right? But for me, I'm watching Goldman Sachs at these levels and just looking for reversals on volume or reversals on price and an increase in volume that shows me it's time for me to potentially get in. SPY on the 430.97. If you're bullish, you want it back above 434.16, then 437.91 for the break. If it dips into the 428s or 425s or 424s or 422s, I'd keep an eye out for potential buyers stepping in. Might be interesting. Um, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and tap the like button. And if you'd like to receive more content like this, not just from me, but from Elisa, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Power of Pivots, where you can look forward to receiving amazing scripts and videos that, assist you with your trading journey. You know, and if you'd like to hear Elisa talk about and explain how she utilizes her pivot strategy to find great entries, great intraday plays, and great exits, please let me know. And in that email, please send, you know, just what you're interested in, like sort of what stocks, what you're watching, and I'll see if I can sort of add some of those next time. Definitely working on not that much sleep, but definitely want to get a video out there. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week of trading and stay safe. Also, eye on Moderna. It's a lot going on around Moderna in other countries and Moderna in this country, and Moderna's reaction to the Delta variant, booster shots, a lot, of energy, a lot of things swirling around that. Thank you so much. Enjoy the week.